This is the task of our dreams. How could we imagine the development of our products further? And of course, there is no right answer. There are just a lot of ideas. How could we improve our products further? And by thinking about it, we are going to understand, does our product have any future? Because now products are developing very quickly, and of course, the plan, the roadmap of improving your products step by step by achieving goals again and again. Those requirements are very important to be successful for a long term. So that's why I asked you to prepare your vision of technologies that you could implement. I have my own ideas according to all your products. I think solutions will be very different, because different ideas, different projects, and I hope that this seminar will be very interesting. Okay, let's get started. I wrote the schedule of the first presentation, and the first team, Aviasales, you're welcome with your vision and your solutions.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Today we will talk about our ideas of technologies that can improve our service. There is no doubt that modern technology is a big step towards progress. Not using them is tantamount to degradation. After all, competitors are already introducing modern technologies into their business. Companies applying new technologies expand the potential customer loyalty, opportunities, and prospects. Firstly, we think that such a technology as big data for the selection of stylists is a great idea for our platform Stylist Touch. As we said earlier, registering on our social network directed on style, it will be necessary to fill out a questionnaire on the basis of which the client will receive a list of suitable stylists. To perform such an operation, we need to use big data. Secondly, we want to pay your attention to such a technology as big data for making a rating of stylists. We don't exclude those cases when the client unsuccessfully analyzed the generated list of stylists on a questionnaire, so we also offer the possibility of searching for a stylist based on the rating. Thus, based on customers' reviews, comments, and ratings, a rating of stylists will be formed to reduce the search time for customers.
The use of augmented and virtual reality technologies is also relevant for our service. They're increasingly being used to create digital experience. This type includes virtual fitting rooms. The idea is that perhaps after receiving links from a stylist, the client has the opportunity to try on the sent options in advance and decide whether to buy them or it's better to change the look. However, virtual fitting rooms have not yet become widespread due to a number of problems: the presence of only several standardized sizes of figures in the form of mannequins, which do not always fit the type of figure of a particular user, as well as a narrow range of digitized models that can be used by the technical capabilities of a virtual fitting room. A virtual fitting reduces consumers' time spent on purchases, as well as the percentage of returns in online stores. Also, technologies that will positively affect the development of our service include integration with beauty salons, clothing, and accessory stores, cosmetic stores. For example, it will be possible to create a separate tab with such partners and their description, if necessary. Customers will be able to view this information and, if desired, use their services. Stylist Touch will provide their clients with promo codes and bonuses in partner companies. Such integration can be considered a technology because it's beneficial to each side. The client reduces the time spent searching for beauty salons to complete the image for our company. Thanks to integration, the range of service provides expense and for partners customer growth. We will also offer promo codes to partner stores or discounts. on the services of certain stylists to those customers who will take part in the Give a Second Life to Clothes campaign. We will introduce an online map with clothing reception points in large cities into our app or in popular map apps like Tugis or Yandex Maps. We may install our own containers or use existing projects like Spasibo containers and cooperate with clothing recycling companies. In our opinion, the introduction of such technology will stimulate our customers to pay attention to the problems of recycling and disposal of unnecessary things. It will help the recycling companies by increasing the amount of clothes entering. In case of mentioning the containers of our company in popular map apps, this will raise the brand awareness and increase our audience. And also for Stylist Touch, this approach will improve our ecological image, which plays an important role in positioning the service in the modern market.
All in all, we can divide presented ideas into two groups. Firstly, it is a system to predict any outputs based on the previous experience. This way, we can recommend our clients to contact particular stylists or to consider some fashion looks suitable for them. The main problem that we would face in this situation is a cold start problem. We can include new customers into our algorithm only if we have required information about them that we can collect only during our interaction. And secondly, a group of our ideas is computer vision to classify images. Of course, implementing this type of technology is strongly difficult but very efficient. It is also important to find out how the described aspects are solved by our competitors. The first aspect that we presented is a questionnaire for purpose of selecting stylists. This technology is actively used by many of our competitors. For example, the capsule company, which attracts customers to provide stylistic services, also asks to fill out a questionnaire after registration. The questionnaire includes questions such as the purpose of cooperation, the usual style, and others. In order to study competitors, we started filling out this questionnaire to find out what aspects this company takes into account. But at the third stage, out of 15, it became boring, long, and dreary. Therefore, we concluded that our questionnaire should be concise and informative. Similar but shorter questionnaire we also find in Profi.ru.
If you talk about rating of stylists, then other market players have not presented this technology in form we want to do it. But for example, the Style Match company, whose idea is quite similar to ours, also provides a rating of stylists. However, they are also a startup in early stage. That's why they don't have much feedback from customers. From customers to make a rating according to them. They don't use customers' feedbacks as a rating criteria. If you continue to talk about ratings in Profi.ru, consumers can sort stylists' profiles by feedbacks or by prices. And unlike the previous competitor, Style Match, Profi.ru has a large base of feedback, which makes the rating useful. And our next technology is virtual fitting, which is rarely used among our competitors. And as for separate applications for virtual fitting, such as a Glam Storm, they often make it possible to try on a limited number of things on a virtual models and not for yourself. And of course, there is no cooperation with stylists in such apps. We guess that it's quite convenient to fit to yourself the clothes that the stylist has chosen to you, and do it all in one place. And it will be realized in our app. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention, and we are ready to answer your questions.
Okay, thank you. I will make some comments because this is very important direction. How could we improve our products by using just for me? Okay, very good ideas. Thank you so much. I was waiting for your presentation because there are a lot of very hard issues that you need to solve to be successful. And the first of all is a rating system of the stylist, because rating system is one of the most, this is the easiest way to rate our designers and etc. But of course, it is not the best solution, because the machine learning doesn't works here. There are just feedbacks from the customers, and of course it is not the big data. How should it work if the computer could understand the reactions of customers by the solutions that designers create? We are going to understand how machine learning will work with your emotions. This is the very significant sphere of improving this technology, because there is no ideas how could we understand the emotion of the customer who is visited your website. But there are a lot of researchers in this area, and all of those researchers are something between digital technology and psychology, because we need to understand what should the customer do on your website if he's satisfied by the look, and if he is not satisfied by the image, by the picture that he is looking now. And there is a very difficult task. The second one is the fitting room. It is an extremely hard technology, because it is really hard to computer to understand what is presented on the picture. And the basic task for machine learning technology is to divide cats and ducks onto the two groups. We could show the picture for the machine learning solution, and it should understand, is it the cat or duck? And it is really hard for a computer, because there is no clear factors to understand it. And improving this technology to implement it in the fitting room is a really hard but really interesting task. And by my opinion, creating those solutions and implementing it in your products will be the key to success, because it is the really hard task. Okay, thank you. Great review of your ideas. And now we are going to the debates. Please, Spotify team, you're welcome.
May I firstly ask you, can you clarify which type of question we should ask, like about technologies, about what, like what is the direction of debate? Григорий Валерьевич. Does anyone hear me?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Could you please repeat your question? Sorry.
Can you clarify what type of debate we have today? Like, what type of question should we do? Any directions? Like about technologies, about the applying of technology, or
yes, you need to find any question that's will demonstrates the how your opponents understand this technology. Because maybe you have any question about technology. Maybe you have any question about how does it influence or 4P or for STP model, any limitations of implementing those technologies, any experience of using such technologies by competitors. If you don't have any question, please let me know. I will help you. But by my view, there are a lot of questions. Yeah, you're welcome.
So the first question is, you've mentioned fitting room, like virtual fitting room, no matter what. And I see how you see the agreements with the brands of clothes and accessories and so on. How you see agreements with them in terms of specific images that could be used in such type of soft. Like you need really not just the photos. You, as I understand, you couldn't just use simple photos from the websites. So wouldn't be these agreements too expensive with each brand to create something like that and to be efficient at the same time?
Thank you for the question. We will think for a second. So I think that our technology, of course, it's very expensive, but on the other hand, it will allow us to be the first who will implement it, and we will attract more customers and create a great image in the market. And that's why we think that it's great to try to implement this idea.
So you think it's theoretically possible to make all these agreements with all brands that you will introduce to a customer?
Maybe if when our application becomes popular, brands themselves will want to create such pictures for us. It will be also very beneficial for them to communicate, to cooperate with us.
Okay. Also, as we need the special images of clothes, we need the special images of person by himself, themselves. As far as I know, there is some websites, for example, for glass purchasing, that has this function of trying pair of glass on your photos, but make an appropriate image of face is easier because you can just feed the light in the right way, but make a full body picture with right light that will give appropriate images for any soft. It's pretty difficult. Can you explain how you will encourage your customers to use it function and make this difficult process of making right photos and apply?
So I will start answering your question. Maybe my colleagues will continue. I think that such technology will create a lot of advantages for clients. Firstly, it's really interesting for clients to use something new. Modern technologies is so, or also virtual fitting rooms will reduce customers' time spent on purchases. Time is the main resources that we have. That's why reducing it is also a great advantage. And as a result of using fitting rooms, virtual fitting rooms, the percentage of returns in online stores will also reduce. I think that these aspects are strongly important for clients who communicate with stylists.
I can add something. We get that we can make such a convenient technology that allow customers to use any light, and it will be not difficult for them to choose a place in their room to fit something virtually. We will try to make it as more convenient as possible.
Maybe another solution would be just to create such service where special people would work as helpers, and they would come to houses of people to help them making photos in some unified common form, or just they can create, as I said, special places where people can make these models and photos. But this can require also additional money, but they can also consider this opportunity. For example, they can elaborate this idea in front of investors, and they may help us in realization of this.
Yeah, good. To be honest, it is not a problem. Currently, there are a lot of solutions that use smartphones to create the VR tours inside the apartments, and creating the right types of images is the problem that was decided by those solutions. So it is not a real problem because it is this problem is decided by right now by the other types of applications. Okay, let's move to the second one.
I thought it was the second question, actually.
Sorry, the third one.
And I don't have the third one. I just don't know how can I ask anything if everything is like every answer would be it's expensive, but we will do this. I don't know how to ask questions in this case? I really don't have ideas.
Okay, I agree with you in your position, because now we are just trying to make our ideas, and of course this stage is not to understand who is
I
right.
just
But
can
it's
assume
just about
that this all these technologies that they described, they not only like is expensive for company, but it would we will see it in a price for the service. So they cut their audience by this price pretty much, as I see this.
Yeah, sure. Maybe I will help you with your question. My friends, could you please divide improving your products onto the stages? If you have any map of ideas, roadmap right now, please clarify your steps. If you don't have, please try to show how should you decide what is the most important, what should be in the second phase, and how could you prioritize implementing those technologies into your products? Because of course we couldn't implement it together right now. We need to create a roadmap. Please clarify your view onto the prioritizing improving your product.
I will start to answer. I think the most important thing is the selection of stylists for the client regarding his preferences. The client will not use the entire list of proposed stylists, so for convenience, we must first implement a stylist selection system. And here we can use a rating system and big data. And I think our next step is cooperation with beauty salons and clothing shops. I guess it's the second step, because firstly, before it, we need to become a little bit popular to attract such partners, and then we can implement a second life for clothes, a project, ecological project, and after all, we will start to introduce virtual reality, because yes, we understand that it's a quite expensive and hard technology, and we need strong programming, strong team of programmers to make it, and we need to prepare for implementing such technology. That's our order, I think.
Okay, thank you. Your roadmap based on the difficulties of implementing those technologies, but further, of course, you need to add to the decision the testing of those solutions onto your customers, finding any research groups, and collaborating with them to get the feedback, because maybe sometimes we need to prioritize it in the other order, because any solutions might be more significant for our customers, much expensive, but more significant to get the biggest share of the market. So just add to your ideas the feedback from the customers, from the groups of customers, to collaborate and to make research. What do they think about your ideas? Okay, thank you very much. The second team, Tinkoff, do you have any question, or you don't have to?
We have some questions.
Okay.
So you mentioned a lot that some of your competitors are trying to implement some features which you have thought of. So our question is, what mistakes in realization of the same features have you noticed among your competitors? The answer is in the chat.
Thank you for your question. I will try to answer it. Firstly, I want to mention the questionnaire that is used by our competitors. It is really boring and very long. That's why we decided that we should make a small pool of the most important questions, and this will reduce the amount of data processed, and the client will not get bored filling this questionnaire. And also, we noticed that ratings can be complemented depending on different criteria, and of course we will also use it. This will increase the functionality of our application, so we should take this into account when we will implement this idea in our application.
Okay, thank you for your answer. So basically, you have just asked my second question. So it was about how I go into to avoid making the same mistakes. So let's move to the third one.
Maybe I can add something to your second question.
Yes, okay.
Thank you. In our opinion, it is strongly important to make up several variants of questionnaires and test them on our customers, whose effectiveness will be better. That questionnaire will be chosen by our company for using. Thank you. That's all, I think.
Okay, thank you for your answer. And our last question, it is connected one more time with the current market. So how do you think, in general, why your technologies are better than the existing on the current market ones? I printed it.
Well, I think that firstly, no one on the market in this sphere offers virtual reality technology, and that is that they can just become the first in this field, as I mentioned. And this will certainly increase our image and recognition. And of course, the implementation of this technology will require investment. In addition, this process is quite time-consuming, but the result in the form of capturing new segments attract us.
Okay, thank you for your answer. It was my last question.
Good, thank you. My friends, if you have any problems with creating the question, please look more widely at the market. Of course, we could compare with competitors. We could compare these technologies with the models of the 4P, of STP, and we could research how implementing those solutions will influence onto the each stage of those ideas. And of course, it is this influence will be different, for example, for 4P, for different stages of those model. But I have any ideas to help you with your question. If you have any problems, please let me know, maybe in chat, and I will make you some advice. Okay, let's move to the second presentation. It will be the Tinkoff team, and your opponents will be Skillbox and Aviasales. Now I'm trying to send you this skill on this chat. Yeah, please share a screen, Tinkoff team. And now when you're going to start your presentation, I will make this any news about the next seminar. It will be the next Thursday, and we'll have a short presentation from the marketing agency. I guess that it will be interesting for you to meet with the real practitioners of this market. It will be the presentation from the real web. It is, I'm not sure, but I think the biggest Russian digital marketing agency, and they are my friends and colleagues, and they will try very briefly to present you the current practices in the digital marketing, different roles in the marketing agency, any interesting cases that might be interesting for you. I will let you know about the particular schedule of these presentations later, but generally the next seminar will be as the meeting with the members of this market, and I hope that it will be interesting for you. Okay, let's move to your presentation. Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, hello everyone, and let me start. The establishment of a digital company could not be imagined without the implementation of new technologies, and in particular, artificial intelligence, which brings a quick and high return on investment because it can support three important business needs: automating business processes, gaining insights through data analysis, and engaging with their customers and employees. These are three large areas in which there are many smaller tasks that can be solved with the help of artificial intelligence. In our work, we are also focused on three more specific problems that are relevant for our startup and could be solved with the help of new technologies.
Price comparison engines sound very easy on paper and equally difficult to implement in practice. Developing sound, effective, and scalable price intelligence engines require us to tackle two board challenges: use ML and AI-based normalization techniques to clean the data so that we are able to unearth meaningful insights from it. Let's define data aggregation challenges. First, scale. In most of the business scenarios, we need to acquire a couple of million data points. Usually for sourcing information, the price comparison platform has to integrate with several e-com marketplaces and continuously monitor pricing information on complete product categories to detect new information. According to some estimates, just Amazon has product roster of 12 million products. If you add Amazon Marketplace sellers, then it swells to staggering 350 million products. Say, if you want to compare one product category of 5,000 products across 8 marketplaces every 2 hours, we are looking for nearly 500,000 scrolls per day. There are numerous other challenges that the sourcing engine faces, and they become even severe as you start operating on a large scale. Just hardware requirements of setting up a server farm would be huge. Usually, price comparison platforms are built to operate across complex web environments that not only acquire data from multiple e-com marketplaces, but also provide access to the historical store of all data acquired, enabling clients to derive unique time series insights. The second challenge is even bigger: how to make sense of the information once you acquire all data points from the web. How do you process it? The fact is that the World Wide Web is not a uniform place. Some of the websites are integration friendly, but most websites do not. They post information for visitors to read, not for a smart price comparison engine to track competitive prices. So comparison engines need to be smart and require constant tweaking for crawling different websites. It is extremely hard to integrate with websites at scale, as there are no universal standards for website development. Due to humongous noise and the lack of structure in web data, we need to develop fairly advanced normalization techniques to clean the data, at times using AI for image and text analysis. After organizing the data, we can think about unearthing meaningful information from it. Each pricing intelligence tool has built upon complex machine learning-based semantic models that help make sense of the data. However, pricing intelligence tools take a lot of time to mature and develop. Once developed, they provide brand managers with almost a simulator on real-time data and help them undertake several business critical abilities such as dynamic pricing, measuring price elasticity, deriving SKU level profitability, and best of all, ability to compare all these metrics with competitors.
Modern everyday life is treated with countless interactions with massive technological systems that support our communication, our transport, our retail activities, and much more. Through these interactions, we're generating an increasing volumes of big data, documenting our collective behavior at an unprecedented scale. It was noted that a number of recent studies providing evidence that big data can tell us much more about real world collective decision making and can even allow us to better anticipate collective actions taken in the real world. So you can see more details in the article of Mode, Race, and others. 2014. Implementing different approaches to our startup, there are several ways to use predictions of human behavior to optimize the work of our company. It is worth mentioning that predicting human behavior using big data is not a very new concept, and it has formulated and proven methods. Look up in Goldstone and Janssen 2005. For starters, search engine query data can be used to predict real world behavior. There are several articles on the topic. For example, Kin 2011 Laser 2009 Mitchell 2009 and Vesperganini 2009 of our customers in advance. So we will be able to provide our customers with a highly personalized advertising and personalized discounts. As it was mentioned above, the whole analytical process is complex. Nevertheless, it is worth it. To continue with, social networks gather terabytes of consumers' information, and our customers are not an exclusion. Using some modern models, such as edge-centric clustering scheme, we can try to predict some actions of our clients or potential customers. Moreover, today there are models which can work with millions of actors simultaneously. For some details, look into 10, Van, and Leo 2012. Furthermore, some models use animal examples to predict social behavior, and what is more, they succeed in it. Benji, Ericville, 2012. Thus, combining today's different models and methods, we can analyze our customers' social media, predict their interests, and again provide them with personalized content. Finally, implementing the complex combinations of those approaches can help us to distribute customers among different stores and not to make crowds in the one with the cheapest products. Of course, if we're talking about the B2B sector, mentioned mechanisms and are just priceless, and their implementation is much broader than in B2C. From predicting value of contracts and expected profits from them to probability of failure and using weak spots of our competitors.
Well, the next technology relates to improving the communication between the user and the customer support service. Nowadays, automation of customer interaction services is popular because it quickly provides users with the necessary information to solve their problems. Its popularity since customer service agents can only handle one support call or issue at a time, while AI empowers customer service departments to do more, thus improving the speed and quality of customer service. There is also research on the topic of customer interaction with the support department. For example, in the article by Zendesk, 89% of customers said that a quick response to their request was important to them, and 67% answered that they were willing to recommend a product or service to their friends if the interaction was satisfactory. Next slide, please. Yes. So we have 3 ways of implementing AI in the interaction of the client with the support service. First, these are quick responses to user queries. Artificial intelligence can process requests much faster and provide more accurate answers about the capabilities of app or other technical points. Secondly, assistance for the employees of customer service department. If the client's question is still very complex and the bot in chat cannot process it, AI collects the data and uses it to determine the best representative who can meet the client's needs. Then it provides the employee with the necessary background information before they interact with the customer. This saves time and labor and helps customers solve problems more efficiently. Finally, an analysis of the most common questions for improving the application and service. AI will help anticipate specific customer needs, learning from the context and previous chat history. That is, we will be able to better understand the client journey in the app and the problems they face. Thus, we can make the app more user-friendly based on the analysis of customer issues. Transforming customer interaction with the support service, AI-powered digital solutions will improve online customer experience, loyalty, and brand reputation.
Summing up, artificial intelligence is a powerful tool that can take our company to a new level. Of course, there are a number of difficulties on the way to the implementation and the use of new technologies, but they are also surmountable and highly comparable to the benefits that a company can extract. When founding a company whose value and profitability can multiply every year, it is absolutely necessary to introduce new technologies at all levels, from the operation of the service itself to marketing.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It's really awesome presentation. Now, Skillbox, you're welcome with your questions.
Yes, thank you for your presentation. It was a bit complicated for understanding, but it was interesting. And our first question, as I remember, your app is more about social, because you can help old people or families. And my question is, how do you think will such a no, my question is, how do you think do you pay off your investments in the future? Just do you remind me how do you plan to get money from your app?
Okay. Thank you for your question, Gusmin.
Привет.
Почему? Что? Кто? А кто спросил, Aviasales или Skillbox? Или кто там? Что денежки? Pay in the future? Ну, да, это оно. Давай я тебе продублирую. Угу. Угу.
Да, хорошо.
Okay. It's a pretty good question. We think that we are going to implement such such expensive technologies only when and only if our company becomes stronger, larger, and shows some good tendencies to grow and to making profit, because it's just it's just madness to implement such such tax to a small startup, because in that case it won't be a startup if it requires several I know several millions to invest in.
Okay, but do you remind me about how you plan to get profit in general? I just don't remember.
Okay. In general, we are going to get some profit from advertising, and we were thinking about implementing some monthly payments, but finally we decided not to do that because our audience is elderly people, so it's not a great idea. So generally by advertising.
Okay, maybe it will be a good idea to take support from government. How do you think?
Of course, it, it is always a great idea to get some support from the government, but I'm, but it's a great, it's a great problem too to prove to the government that your project is socially important. But I think in the case of our firm, it can be done. So it can be a way of doing things. Let's say so.
Okay, thank you.
Коля не выключил микрофон в зуме, у меня тут такая
Thank you for
какофония, как
presentation.
будто тут
I will
толпа.
ask questions from.
There are not all questions from
Oh,
Skillbox.
sorry. Okay.
So our second question is, how do you make the server or application user-friendly?
Okay, thank you for your question. Give us a minute.
Не нашел или нашел ответ? Да, там есть. Угу. Хочешь, я могу ответить? Угу. Well, our idea is to create a user-friendly and simple application which will be appropriate for our potential target audience. So we start our application as extremely user-friendly and intuitive, but as we continue to develop our service, we think that before introducing new technologies and adding new features or reforming something in our application, we will conduct a survey among our users in order to know what they would like to add to the application and what features may make their application more convenient. So we will connect after the survey, and according to the results, we will connect to programmers and designers who will try to implement the ideas of our audience into the existing application.
So, generally speaking, our app is going to be user friendly because it is going to be based on users' preferences, something like that.
So thank you for your answer. Our last question is, so you didn't tell us anything about competitors, and that is why I would like to know, are there any information about competitors? Are there any same technologies do your competitors have any same technologies as yours, and so on?
Okay, thank you for your question. Give us a minute.
Yeah, you always told about the dealers, the main competitor. Please try to compare with this one, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Да, да. Он не сравнивает, он просто по магазинам предоставляет информацию, где сейчас какие скидки, на что. Нет, там просто тыкаешь на магазин, например, ну, на любой магазин, и у тебя каталог. Угу. Угу. Ага, хорошо. Well, our main competitor is Yedadil, and the main task that Yedadil solves is giving users the information about discounts that are relevant for any of their shop. So this application and website doesn't aggregate any data, and it doesn't predict consumer behavior. So and moreover, it doesn't compare any prices, and artificial intelligence hardly can be used in client support services. So we think that new technologies and features of artificial intelligence that were mentioned in our presentation are not implemented in this by this competitor. So if we manage to introduce these technologies to our app, we will replace this competitor in their position on the market.
So a little bit summing up, yet the deal uses some not very complex big data analysis. So without any complex models, and of course without any artificial intelligent which can be involved in support service, and without any predictions of collective behavior, and even the big data analysis is not ideal. So in that context, our technologies are going to be great comparing to the deals one.
Okay, thank you for your answers.
So
Yeah, Aviasales, you're welcome.
Thank you. Will the server crash due to the frequent influx during discounts and weekends? That is our first question.
Okay, thank you for your question. It's an interesting question, so give us some time, please.
Ура! Мгм. Мгм. Давай, у меня путается немецкий с английским, я вообще.
Okay, so to for starters, we need to mention one more time that theoretically there are some models which can simultaneously calculate the actions for many users, so up to 1 million users, and those models will stand still. But practically, it's the question of some hardware. So you can implement the greatest statistical model in history, but if you have only one old server, it will crash. I know, not reaching the point of 1,000 simultaneously requests. So we know that appropriate models are available. So we just need to large our company, so it will have the requested resources to make a big server, which won't crash down due to many users' requests on special events like weekends or some festivals, or um, or Black Friday, let's say so.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is, you also say that you will try to predict customer behavior. How will this be expressed, and what is your goal for implementing this technology?
Okay, thank you for your question. Give us a minute, please.
Я думаю, ты понял явно больше, чем люди, которые задают наши вопросы. Давай.
So, generally speaking, in terms of our clients, we need, let's call it collective behavior predictions to make extremely personalized content for our customers. So, I'll explain it. For example, our customer is opening the app for the first or for the second time, and he or she is trying to find something. So if our models, if our algorithms are working greatly, he or she should find the needed product immediately. So it will be just a hen somewhere in the recommendations, just on the top of the page. But it's the theory. In practice, our algorithms will try to choose the best products due to our modern models and available data to recommend those products to the customer. And in many cases, the customer will see maybe not the exact product he or she is looking for, but some alike product. That is the main goal of predicting collective behavior in our case. Moreover, we mentioned that it would be nice to distribute customers among stores. So, for example, Black Friday and one or two, I don't know, 1,000 customers are visiting our site, and they all see that they all see in their recommendations that I don't know that the cheapest TVs are in one particular store. So, as a result, there will be a big crowd in that store, and it would be a problem even for our customers. And to avoid creating such mess, our predictive models should also distribute customers among stores. So, for example, the half of our customers will be distributed to one store, and another half to another store where TVs are more expensive just for several dollars. But it will help to prevent crowds and to prevent much more utility loss for our customers than $3 or $5. Something like that.
Okay, thank you. Very interesting. And the last question is, In your presentation, you also say that you will try to distribute customers to stores to avoid crowds. And shouldn't you send everyone to a cheaper store? What is your opinion?
Yeah. Okay. Practically, I have partly answered that question, but I can large it. So the main idea is that
Nika,
Mhm.
thank you. Thank you. I think that we don't need it because you answered this question before while
Okay.
you answering the second one. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Very good presentation and clear ideas. There are a lot of working examples of those solutions, and in offline too. For example, there is a very famous case of Nesca company that was the first big mall, big shop who started to use personalized offers in offline markets. And when they create such offers for their customers and share special discounts, and there are a lot of special offers, million offers for a few products that might be interesting for this segment of customers. They improved their sales very quickly. And if you will be interesting, please let me know. I will find this case and share it with you. It is one of the most important case of the personalization that proved the real importance of those solutions, because it was provided in offline, because it is very easy to provide online personalization, quite more easy than in offline. Okay, thank you so much for the presentation. I will have a break for half an hour and see you again at 1 p.m. The next presentation will be by I will send you some later, because yeah, I have the schedule from the Spotify team, and your opponents will be a sales and skill box. I will send you the schedule right now. And I will have the break. See you again after an hour, after
Okay.
half hour.
Thank you.
Да, тебе большое спасибо.
Так, вроде бы это. Мы же сейчас скиллбоксу будем задавать вопросы. Ну, после перерыва. Ну, вроде как да. Окей, я тогда сейчас вопросы у них спрошу, они делают, поэтому там вопрос тоже не возникнет проблем. Всё, да. Угу. Отлично. Давайте, пока.
Пока.